Love Caesar's Palace. Shirley. Call Shirley. Oh, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Y'all know Shirley Caesar started her career in Winston-Salem. Did you know that? Man, welcome to my live writing session. This is our first time doing this like this. You know what I'm saying? It's our first time doing this like this. It's our first live writing session. Make sure you like and you subscribe to our YouTube. You follow us on Instagram, Daryl Q Slade, everything around Daryl Q Slade. I'm the panhandler of these accounts. Ibn Daril, San Queen, Ibn Daril, Don Muhammad, San Queen, Duke of the Johannes. Duke of the Johannes. So all my lives on Instagram, we're slowly but surely Caesars. surely Caesar uploading it to our YouTube page. That's the goal. And so, our backup, we recording here. But these are just for archive purposes. I just want y'all to join. This is for writers, like for true writers. We need real writers. This is me as an author. I'm showing you my writing process. And while we do that, I'm going to be playing one of my videos from my ground studies because it's very important. And I'm playing this in addition to the that reel I did on Saturday, the 21st, where I was talking about the Etowah and Charlestown Landing. That's where this is at. It's a very important place. And on geographically and historically, this is a very important place, right? So I was there doing ground studies. You see they got buffalo there. See, this is buffalo. So you subscribe to my channel, you can see. And this is just going to grow. Soon we're going to go overseas with it. But right now we literally are submersed in the ground, in the land, right? I want to pull this up so you can see it was this guy. He did this. I do not know his name, but we're going to put his face up there. He did a drop on like Rome. And before we go to that, I'm gonna come here first. This is recent. This is what they call current events. So this happened in Rome, Georgia. I haven't been to Rome, but I've been like near it. It's off of Highway 75, like going north of Atlanta towards Chattown. So that just happened, Rome. But this guy, he did a breakdown on how the original Rome is here. Not too long ago, actually. That's how I found. Now, I had already been to Charlestown Landing, as you're going to see on this video. But I want to show you where we coming from, bruh. What you up to? All right, bet. What up? Father of Charlotte. You know what it feel like to have that title? I mean, and not only to have that title, but to uphold the title. You want to be the father of Charlotte, you got to take Charlotte to Charlotte, the Charlotte. And Charlotte.
Unconditional love. Talking about this love that don't get off. It don't fade. It lasts for all these crazy days, these crazy nights. Whether you wrong or you right.
Hey, man, for real, right? I don't even want to play the whole shit part because they might take my video, man. Type shit is that? But I'm the father of Charlotte. You know, that's my girl, man. That's Charlotte. That's Charlita. You see, she's Charlita. She born the same year as that football club. She born the same year the football club was established. You feel me? Charlotte. And my mama told me to name her Charlotte. I can't go against what my mama say, even if I don't understand it. So, shout out to her mama. Like, for real, shout out to her mom. No cap. Ain't no cap in my rap. I'm looking for this shit. It ain't no cap in my rap. Charlotte. I'm raising Charlotte. Like how they raising Kane. Huh. You know I can. Alright, bet. There we go. So, here we are. I'm gonna pull this up right here. Feel me? So this is right here. See that field?
I'm gonna get a better picture of this.
I'm right here in this field where that green at.
1670. So remember,
That's like right
a
here.
lot happened in 1670.
Feel me? This is the Stono River. Look up the Stono Rebellion. This is the Ashley River right here. Boom. So that's where we at. That's where this video was recorded at.
And like it took them about 63 years, really longer than
My
that,
fault.
to get a official establishment of a colony in North America. So you had like the Virginia Charter, you had the Charter to Sir Walter Raleigh. There's a charter before that. All these charters failed.
So this where we at, right here, where that green at.
The charter with the Virginia Company,
Boom.
it got revoked.
So I'm about to start writing. I'm just getting this set up.
For them to get a colony established here.
Shout out to Hove.
Like I tell y'all all the
Shout out Hove, bro. That this interview right here with Hove is really good. Like for real, it actually motivated me to get back. Like really, how we said we on the offense. I so felt that. That's like for real, bro. We all going through it as men of that stature, right? American men. We go through so much. Real North American men. Let's be specific. The indigenous North American men. We going through it right now. So, I'm in a creative. I haven't been in a creative space. It's more so a discipline space, like how he was talking about, like with his first album. You know, like this is like we made this work. Like we made literally that's a double entendre. We made this work. So we made our creativity work, meaning that this is our job. This is my job. Like literally, this is my job. But it's not a job. This is a calling, right? You know, so I was sent here to write because I'm righteous, right? Like John Wyclif. Yeah, man, all right, bet. So we finna write. I'm gonna pull this up. Let me see something. I'm trying to figure this out.
Like I tell you all the time, the colonies were just apartments. Just think about it like that.
Let me just. These are my favorite pens right here. This is my favorite pen to write with, bro. For real. No cap. So if y'all want to give me these pens, my P.O. box is...
1670, you had the Carolina Constitution, the fundamental Constitution.
My P.O. box
Carolina.
is
We're literally talking about
5670.
Niggas.
5670 in Bethania. 5670. My P.O. box is 5670 Bethania. Right? See it say Bethania right there? Free Palestine. So yeah, that's 5670 Bethania, Main Street. You need this. You need this. We got some drop on You Need This. I'm pretty sure we do. But yeah, you can send me those pins there, 5670 Bethania. You Need This 43 Main Street, and you put on there Wachovia. Now you put on there, yeah, Wachovia, Carolina Norte, or Bethania. My fault. It's in Bethania, but it say Bethania and Wachovia. It say Bethania and Wachovia. So, oh yeah, let me put this on here. It's a live writing session. This is a live scroll, like live. Let me see, do they got a pen? Pen. Yes, sir. Pen that. So, if, my favorite pen. So that's the only donations. Just donate me some pens. I don't want no money. Give me the pens so I could write, because that's how we make our paper. That's how we make the paper. See, oh, my fault. That's how we make the paper. You write the note. It's the promissory note. So we don't want the money. We gonna make the money. We just need the pen. So donate the pen, because these are very expensive pens. I paid $5 for 2 of these. If you get the point. All right. So 5670 Bethania Main Street. You Need This. Betharbara. You Need This 43. Betharbara. That's where you send the pens to. Seriously, I'm not doing this for money. I'm not in this for the money. No cap. I'm in this for the people who's going to be born in 2073. When they get to an age of competency. You feel me? So that might be 2102. If you get the pinpoint, we in Betharbara. Betharbara. Live from Bethania. Betharbara. All right, bet. Betharbara. You see it right there? I can zoom in. Betharbara. All right, yeah. So this is how I write. This is my writing style. Again, this is for the writers. This is Carolina, like all Carolina, bro. Everything has to do with Carolina. Everything that's on here is Carolina something. It ties back to Carolina some way. Somehow, some way, we gonna make it up out the hood someday. Somehow, some way, we gonna make it about this life. Yeah, we gonna make it about this life. Yeah. Somehow, some way, we gonna make it about. Man, I bet. Where we at? That's all our indigenous lands, bro. So
we were the dominant populace here. You know, whatever you want to call us, the original inhabitants, the aboriginals, the indigenous Charlestown landing, but then you see, now you know the Native Americans is the Aboriginal Americans. It's the same thing, the conversation we have about African American. These are these are Aboriginal Americans. So it says, this is an ancient settlement of the Aboriginal Americans here. And so you can kind of see let's talk it like that. It's dope. Corn-based agriculture during the Mississippi period led to the rise of permanent villages. We need to get back to this village culture. Imagine this in modern time, how that would look. Archaeologists interpreting. Stand for. So they did. It says the crew uncovered rounds of stains in the soil. These stains indicate the individual palisade posts that once surrounded this ritual space. All right. So I like this, and this is why I wanted to come out here, just so that we can kind of get a visual and kind of break more curses when it comes to our history and what's not told. So the people who were here prior to colonization, prior to the settlers, you know, there were still people here. And I think that's very important to note.
I'm writing, by the way.
Because it breaks a lot of myths. So this is Charlestown.
I'm writing this.
Charleston, you literally
I'm writing this.
Colonizer, slavery. And that's not to say that it didn't happen.
I'm writing this.
But at the same time, what was here before? There were people here before slavery. Okay? Before colonization. There were civilizations here, you know. So just think about that from, you know, how wealthy that is to have, like, this is a peninsula. This, just like Turkey has a peninsula. Just like San Francisco, Boston, they all have peninsulas. I wonder what's back there. And like, we are so brainwashed to be like, oh, well, everybody that got copper colored skin is a descendant of ex-slaves. Nah, buddy. They may be tied to a civilization that predates the civilizations in Egypt. But if we don't open our mind and explore our minds, we just never know. All right? So, you gotta know who you are, buddy. All right? So, and this chief that we're coming up on is who essentially
Can't see. I'll get it in.
established
So I'm writing it.
friendship.
By the time I get to the statute, I'll be able to flip it.
The English, when they came over here originally, Wow. Allies. Casanova. So you see, now, what they not depicting is these were some niggas. These were niggas. Niggas. The original Englishman was niggas. That's why they were invited here. And with treaties, it's benefits on both sides. Both the English benefited for trade and commerce, and the Aboriginals, they benefited for the simple fact that they had somebody to trade with. You feel me?
All right. I'm going to pause this really quick. All right. Boom. Real quick, I'm going to pause that. So you see what I said. I wrote this tonight. I was going to put it on my story, but I decided not to. It went to my drafts, but I was like, because I wanted to think about it more and stuff and all that before I published it on my story. My story is pretty lit. So if you're watching this, I encourage you to be a watcher of my story if you're not already, because I post a lot of receipts on my stories, and they're all archived and they're all saved. So essentially my Instagram is my public archives, right? So I wrote this tonight. Then I read to my right now. I'm reading to my son this book right here. Can you see it? Boom. All right. Boom. So tonight our reading, ironically, was this: John Wyclif and LOllardy, and it's page 179, and I just want to highlight what I read. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it said that in the second, let me see. Give me a second. I'm pulling this up. Let me do this. I'm going to read this in my indigenous tongue real quick. Akaterino, Cafaero, Pae, Marida Shara, Fina, Catarero, Coribo Cotani Bina, Fino Sino Rasa, Ashrashe, Washe, Wasestir, Corifra, Conamano, Corinama, Corina, Toro Corina, Coripo, Porea Corina, Co. It says that according Oxford was his home, talking about John Wyclif, and study his passion. It says that, like William of Ockham, he believed that belief had to be taken on faith, and that God's will is inscrutable and his power infinite. You see what I'm saying? Now I'm saying her, but I wrote this before I read this. You feel what I'm saying? I never read this until tonight, after I wrote this. He believed that God's power is infinite. From Archbishop Brad Wardwine, he learned to emphasize God's grace, right, and help rather than man's free will. He's from Richard Fitzralph. He borrowed the theory of dominion, namely lawful lordship and dominion over men, depends on grace. That is on the righteousness. Man, it says the righteousness of the person who exercises it. Lordship. Lordship depends on the righteousness on the person who, what did it say? Exercises it. Exercises it. It says that right here in the second paragraph and the last two sentences. It says that, and like Marsilius of Pardue, he appealed to the scriptures and secular authority rather than canon law and papal authority, brother. Man, that's crazy. So I literally wrote essentially the same thing. That's crazy. Stay righteous. Stay on code. Oh shit, it's copying the words off of there. Is righteousness on there too? Yeah. I bet.
People to buy their crap. They said it was corn. So you gotta understand that it was all about commerce. So get a good look at that, good view. Hey. And I'm gonna get a better picture of this. 1670. So remember, a lot happened in 1670. Boom. And like it took them about 63 years, really longer than that, to get a official establishment of a colony in North Americas. So you had like the Virginia Charter, you had the Charter to Sir Walter Raleigh. There's a charter before that. All these charters failed. The charter with the Virginia Company, it got revoked. And so it actually took a long time for them to get a colony established here. And like I tell y'all all the time, the colonies were just apartments. Just think about it like that. Oh, wow. All right. So 1670, you had the Carolina Constitution, the fundamental Constitution of Carolina, where literally you're talking about you niggas. We were the dominant populace here. You know, whatever you want to call us, the original inhabitants, the aboriginals, the indigenous, you know, Carolinians, however you want to call it. We were here. We was here. We was here. So that Constitution was written for us. from Barbados to Carolina, large landowner profited from the labor of enslaved Africans who built homes, cleared fields, planted seeds, harvested crops. This marked the end of the slave-based plantation that originally settled here. Negro settlement. So it's a lot more to it. Wish I would have brought my books out here. So like the whole slavery shit don't faze me, bro. Let's talk about it. Let's entertain the conversations. What is this? All right. Let's go on back here. Let's keep going.
You're allowed to have your pictures without anybody else jumping in the way.
You know, of course you're disturbed. It's disturbing. I didn't mean to cut the camera on me, but since I'm here, hello. We're doing ground research. This is part of my work. Just doing this ground research. And like we have to really look at what happened with slavery from a non-emotional standpoint. And like I said with slaves, a good book reference is Africa's Gift to America. It talks about what really went on with slavery. And so it's a false assumption to say that everybody who is in America now that is of Negro descent is and was a part of the slave trade. So here's talking about this wall protecting the colony from Indian raids. I already know. We have with us much ado, our people being weak by reason of scarcity of provision. It's about acres. The colonists were aware that the Spanish, hostile Native Americans, which is the Aboriginal Americans, right? Because at the time, like if we say people today who claims Native American descent could be here like 2 generations and be considered a Native American. But back then, was nobody here but us. So that's what they're saying. And predatory animals threatened their safety. Well supplied by the Lord proprietors, they came to Carolina. Which means that Carolina was already here, prepared to defend themselves.
Alignment.
Right? So they didn't discover Carolina. Carolina was already here. Neglecting the crops and homes, the entire community labored to build a wall of defense, and they moved tons of earth to make a broad ditch. They felled hundreds of trees and erected massive palisade. It's just 1,500 feet across the Albemarle Report. Never sure of when an attack might occur. The men carried guns in the fields and even armed their slaves.
I'm gonna stop there. I want to show y'all this. I really do. I've been writing. You feel me? I'm writing. So I'm gonna show you this. So he just said that Carolina was already here. Oh my God, it's not letting me, bro. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie, yo. I'm fucking tired as fuck. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm tired as hell, bro. But it's not letting me scroll up. It's not letting me scroll up. I hate when it does that, bro. Let me see. Just let it play. I bet. I'm right. I just want y'all to see, like, yo, a lot go into this shit, bro. A lot goes into this work. A lot goes into it. It's not easy. However, the easy part is going to be when you read. When you actually read the masterpiece. KRS-One told me that my books are my masterpiece. He told me that directly, right? So when you read this masterpiece, it's all gonna make sense. You don't notice, like what Nipsey say, you don't know about them sleepless nights. You feel me? So the video, I can't pull the video up, but I just want to talk about a traffic stop that I had a few months ago. And let me see. It's not letting me put nothing up. I can do this though. Alright, I can't move that joint. So it's cool. As y'all see the ground studies, y'all see the work. So like I'm out here in the field, bro. Like literally out here in the field, and like oh wow, pretty dope. It's dope as hell. By me being out here in the field and doing these field studies, it come with a lot, bro. So I was doing my ground studies and I got interfered by a mercenary. You cannot call them officers because they not officers. If they officers, you gotta have them prove it before they say it. You feel me? Don't just assume that they officers. It's just like with these ICE agents. You feel me? Word on the street is they IDF. You feel me? They IDF. The IDF is ICE, right? So they the same people that's going and bombing Palestine, that's been bombing Palestine, and the same people that's attacking Iran now. You feel what I'm saying? Same people, right? So you gotta know what side you really on. Like that's really come down to that. You gotta know it's a war against innocent people. It's a war against innocent people. So with that being said, while I was doing my ground studies in the Low Country, we call it the Low Country because this is our country. Carolina is our country. No different from Germany, no different from Denmark, no different from Austria, no different from Poland, no different from Switzerland, no different from Czechoslovakia, no different from Russia, no different from Iran, no different from Iraq, no different from Turkey, no different from Tunis, no different from Algiers, no different from Morocco, no different from El Salvador, no different from Tierra del Fuego, no different from Brazil. Carolina is its own country, okay? And so when I was interfered by the mercenaries, so when they flick their lights, those are emergency lights, okay? Those are emergency lights, and the cue is for you to stop in case of an emergency, right? So that's alerting the Lord that there's an emergency. Therefore, you have to stop to hear what's going on with the emergency. You see what I'm saying? So, and you got to remember your rank. It say a Lord is just one who moves out the principles of righteousness, right? And truth, right? So if you a true heir of the Carolinas and you moving righteous, that qualifies you as a Lord. So what does it mean to be righteous? For your kids to be able to sleep peacefully every night. For your children to feel safe when they are around you, right? Your aura is your children's protection. Allah koferero koyo. Eshaloko baro. Goribu. That's true heirship. That's true lordship. We all join heirs to Christ, but even in the holy text, it say all are called, but only a few is frozen. You feel me? Long live Big Tookie. I'm St. Quentin coming out the crypt, coming back to tell you what it is. Like I'm John Wyclif. Do you understand? So, when I was stopped by this mercenary, he looked at my address and he said that your address it's not in the southern part. It's South Carolina is what he said. And I told him it's only one Carolina. I told him that it's only one Carolina. And I really wish I could pull the footage up, but I can't right now. Unless I can do this. If I can do this, let me see. Hold on. Yeah, let's see. Let's go. Let's go.
Stop at that stop sign when you came out of that
Let's
tunnel.
fucking go.
Okay. Do you have a driver's license, registration, proof of insurance?
It's gonna lag, but it's all right. Listen to what he's saying. You can listen.
Doing all right?
I'm doing great. I was.
Thank you, sir. You still living in North Carolina, sir?
Yes, sir.
So if you're living in North Carolina, how come is this car registered to you, sir?
Yes, sir. It's in my living trust.
I'm sorry?
It's in my living trust. This is my trust.
All right.
Yeah.
So do you live in the state of South Carolina or do you live in the state of North
I live in
Carolina?
the Carolinas.
Which Carolina, sir?
It's only one Carolina.
North Carolina or South Carolina?
It's only one Carolina.
All right, sir.
I'm working on.
All right, no problem. Do you have your insurance and registration card, please? So if you're living in North Carolina, how come is this car registered to you, sir?
Yes, it's in my living trust.
I'm sorry?
It's in my. Hold on. I'm gonna go back since I got that footage. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna tell you what he said in response to that. You see how I stood my square? Do you know that if I didn't stand off, he could have arrested me and took me into custody. Do you understand what I'm telling you? You gotta know this is okay. It actually goes back further than 1670.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said Carolina actually goes back further than 1670.
That's just for your point. You're coming in really low.
It actually
Front
goes
line,
back to
nigga.
751
751?
AD.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know who Charles Martel is? I don't know where this card is, dude. Man, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. So the part cut out where he was like, man, I learned something new today. In the middle of this, I'm sitting there teaching him, the mercenary, about where he at on the land. I'm telling him where he's at on the land, and he's implying de facto codes on me as I'm telling him where he's at on the land, right? So he's operating off of maritime law, meaning that he's operating off of the law of the sea, and I'm telling him the law of the land. and I'm laying it out for him. And not only that, I went into the city hall to confront him. The same day that this burnt down, the same day that this courthouse burnt down is the same day that I went into their courts to confront, just to ask him if he had any evidence of the proof of burden of the claims that he made against me, because he issued me a citation. And he said he, in front of their so-called alleged judge, right? And I stood up there and I said, I affirm to stand on the truth, right? And so that same mercenary had a courtroom full of people that he either arrested or issued citations to. I mean, it was like a line through the roof. And the majority of it was Americans, right? Be they from North America, be they from South America, be they from goddamn Central America.
That shit, when they say authentic, I mean that shit authentic, bro. That shit was pretty damn good. They know how to cook up in there. And then I had the I don't even know what Guaripa. Hey, on my Latin,
Passion
on my
fruit.
Latin
It
folk,
was the
tap in.
passion fruit juice.
This shit was really the bomb diggity, bro. For real.
It's
And I had
today.
a pupusa. Matter of fact, I still got some. I got the pupusas.
Let me
I
see
got
how
the
far this
pupusi.
joint lag.
Bro,
That's
I had
probably about a 10-second lag.
I still got some. I got the pupusas. I got the pupusi. Bro.
All right, so back to this knucklehead.
Okay, just come to a complete stop.
Bro, he had a courtroom full of people for the same shit, right? Failure to change the address, failure to come to a complete stop. And I told him in that instance that, it was...
I'm doing great, Albus.
I'm playing classical music. My son is back there, by the way. So I'm standing on my square.
You still living in North Carolina, sir?
Yes, sir.
North there.
So if you're living in North Carolina, how come is this car registered to you, sir?
Yes, sir. It's in my living trust.
I'm sorry?
It's in my living trust.
Told him, declared
This is in the
it.
trust.
Alright, so do you live in
And
the
I
state of South
provided
Carolina?
supporting
or do you live in the state
evidence.
of
I live in the Carolinas.
Which Carolina, sir?
There's only one Carolina.
There's North Carolina, there's South Carolina.
There's only one Carolina
Alright,
that
sir.
recognized.
Alright, no problem. Do you have your insurance and registration card, please? So if you're living in North Carolina, how come is this car registered to you, sir?
Yes, sir. It's in my living trust.
I'm sorry?
It's in my living.
Man. So anyway, so I went there and I stood before the people and I challenged the judge. I'm going to keep it gangster with you. You need to challenge the judge first, who they calling the judge, to see if he really a judge or her, right? So if they a judge, that mean they got to have an appointment from, if they are Article 3 judge, that mean they got to have an appointment from the president. So you got to get them to present to you that delegation of authority that they got to be an Article 3 judge. And they can't present that. We know that. But I was grilling him, and he brought up the fact in there that what I told him in that moment. He brought this up yesterday, bro. And I literally, like, this shit, and that's why I put this at the end, because it's for the people who really watch my shit. That's how you gonna get that real shit. You feel me? The same day, bro, the damn courthouse burnt down in Rome. Out of all places, in Rome. The same day that I made my special appearance. Right? And these people acting like judges on our land. And see, the work that we doing right now in Happy Trill is, you're not gonna get summons to the court no more. You're gonna get summoned to the council of elders. You're gonna get summons to the council of elders, and they're gonna be the ones to hear your case, and they're gonna be the ones who is gonna decide what happens based off of the discoveries and the facts. And so I asked yesterday when he said that, the whole shit about me failing to come to a complete stop. I said, do you have any evidence? And he said he didn't. He told me that he had no evidence. The judge asked him that who they call him the judge, which is all they fall under the executive branch. I want you to understand that. And they sworn in under the Constitution. They have an oath to that. So this executive, what do I call him? The mediation guy asked him, did he have any evidence? And he said he didn't. So therefore it's no fucking case. Right? Hold on. All right. So it's the Fifth Amendment. It says you can't be a witness against yourself. Right? You can't testify against yourself. Do you understand? So you can't rat on yourself, essentially. And then you gotta have due process of law. So that's what I was doing yesterday. I'm like, yo, so you don't have no evidence, so it's no case, right? Because if you don't have no evidence for the first claim, number one, then you can't get to the second claim. It's called void ab initio in Latin, right? I'm going to stop sharing. You get it. And so what they try to do is because they know all of this, and what they try to do is they try to get the people to waive their rights. But the people's rights cannot be waived. It is always preserved, right? So, man, I'm going to be honest. So after I questioned him, after I stated that, that vehicle is registered in a living trust. They don't have no jurisdiction over a living trust. I don't care what anybody say. They don't, right? And that's been fact and tried in a lawful court, right? I don't know the case off rip, but they don't have jurisdiction over living trust. And this is why I tell y'all to establish y'all living trust and to establish your authority, your authorities. You see it say authority, right? That's why it's very important that y'all do that, and it's very important that y'all listen to brothers who is out here moving righteous and that is on the front line, who don't mind standing in front of these motherfuckers at all, right? And confronting them, right? In front of the people. And that's essentially what I did yesterday. And they knew that that's what I was doing. And so the mediation guy still found me guilty, but it was never no trial. It wasn't no, it wasn't in the proper venue. It was improper venue. And I think that had a lot to do why this shit burnt down the same damn day. And I didn't have nothing to do with it. But at the same time, it's the law of nature. You understand what I'm telling you? It's the law of nature. And so that's like a sign saying You can't mess with the children of the Most High. You can't go against God's law. If you going against the Constitution, that means you going against God's law, right? Real talk. That's really what it is, because the Constitution protects your religious rights. It protects your worship. It protects your divinity. It protects your righteousness. And so if anything is going against that, then, it is what it is. And so that's what that shit was all about. So I said straight up, you feel what I'm saying? No evidence, no case. And how are you, if I didn't declare myself to be guilty of anything, how you gonna declare me to be guilty? And this whole shit, because it's a lot of people that's getting hemmed up over this shit. Like, it's like for my nomadic people who moving across, state lines in a de facto sense, it ain't no, like I told him, I'm like, bro, it's only one Carolina, right? One Carolina. And technically, he could be deported from our Carolina region for violating the Constitution. Do you understand? Under acts of the color of law. These states' laws is the color of law. The state codes, color of law. It's so very important that y'all know that. That is what you call a ex post facto law, which in the First Amendment, the Article 1, it says that the states cannot issue ex post facto law or act on them or enter into any contracts. Do you understand? And so that's what I told them yesterday. There's no contract. They don't have my signature on shit. They do not have my signature on shit. Therefore, it's no contract where my rights have been waived. My rights has been voided, right? And this is very important. And that's why it's so very important for y'all to know who y'all are, right? And, this is what Malcolm was fighting for. Malcolm was fighting for us to be recognized in the United Nations. They stripped us of our nationality so that they can issue these de facto laws and take advantage of us and rape us of our wealth. Do you understand? Of our hard-earned earnings. Do you understand? That's what this is all about. And they attack us, the brothers, first, because we the alpha men and we are the true leaders of our nationhood. And they try to break us down. They try to feminize us. They try to take our masculinity away from us. They train us to be hush puppies and not to stand up for yourself and to stand up for your life, essentially. But not me. That woman in this painting right there didn't raise me like that. She told me to always hold my chin up. She told me to walk straight. Bump straight, as Rod Hayes would say. Bump straight. And she told me to, she taught me how to be a real stand-up man. And so I stood on my square in front of, all of Latin America was in there yesterday. And they all heard me. And they never heard nobody talk like I was talking. And so what the mediation guy was trying to do was make it seem like I was a fool and I didn't know what I was talking about. You understand? When they don't have no authority to operate on this land whatsoever, their jurisdiction is very limited. I seen a meme today where they was talking about Donald Trump. They was like, breaking news, we got footage of Donald Trump talking and doing a deal with Iran, and it was him talking to himself in the mirror. That's literally their jurisdiction. That's how small it is. Between the space between them and the mirror. You feel me? And so I just really need for our Carolinian brothers to wake up. I got so distracted from my writing session, but my writing session tonight is based on what I was like, bro. Like, I really wanted to give up because I've been fighting in these courts all of 2020. All the 2020s I've been fighting in these courts, and I'm tired of fighting for my rights. I'm tired of that shit. I'm tired of that shit. It's depleting me of my energy. It's depleting me of my energy. And like yesterday, bro, I was so down. I'm just being real with y'all. And what charged me back up is this right here. I was reminded what I do this shit for. I was reminded who I do this shit for. Right? It's about my son. Right? My son was saying, Dad, you got so many books. I'm like, you next, man. You next. That's why you in this house of writer. This is literally a library. So I say John Wyclif lived at Oxford. This Oxford. This is Oxford. They said his profession was a scholar. John Wyclif. So, you know what I mean? I told that mediation guy, I was like, yo, I'm here. I said our trust established regency in the Low Country. That's why I told him in the Low Country so that I could do these ground studies. Front line with it. On the ground with it. Y'all seen the footage? I got more. It's so, bro, just go to my YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube. But I got so much more, bro. This is just the start. That's just a little glimpse of the work that we've done, bro. Really out in the field, really active. So we established regency so that my son could be enrolled into school while I'm doing my ground studies on the land, bro. So he's getting his education. My daughter's getting her education, right? My children is taken care of. That's the only reason that I'm in this motherfucking neck of the woods. Right? It ain't nothing else. I don't got no contract with no state of South Carolina. Hell no. They can't do it. They can't establish no... They got it. Right there. Perfect. No state shall enter any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque or reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything. So those are bills of credit. When they issue those tickets, those are bills of credit. What do the word emit mean? Let's look up what emit mean, because we really gotta understand this shit, bro. You really gotta understand. So this is what it says emit. But then we're gonna go back to it. It says emit bills of credit, which really means to produce, to print, to publish a bill of credit, which is all de facto. Make anything but gold or silver, tender for payment in debt. This is why you have to write promissory notes. You have to write promissory notes. So for any debt that they say that you owe, you say you promise to pay, right? In gold and silver. But the fact that gold and silver is not in rotation, you're going to make the promissory note be the acceptance for value in lieu of, right? That cancels out. That's honorable. That's an honorable C promissory note. All right. It says exports lay, where we at? Pass any bill of attainder ex post factos law, meaning failure to follow the step at a stoplight, failure to change your address. Ex post factos law. De facto, in other words. Or law impairing the obligation of a contract impairing the obligation of a contract, or grant titles of nobility such as officer. No state. So you can't have no. How are you going to be? It says without the consent of Congress. So therefore, in your discoveries, I don't know who I'm talking to. When you write your issues of your writ of this, when you emit your writ of discovery, you make sure you say we need the consent. Produce the consent from Congress. Produce the laws with the consent of Congress. In other words, like the Godfather say, because I feel like I'm becoming the Godfather. The Godfather say, I'm going to give him an offer that he can't fucking refuse. And that's my motherfucking time. We out. Salam alaikum.